Welcome back, you beautiful souls, to part 1A of What If Deku Was a Perfect Vessel. So, over the past few years, like the past 2 years, Deku's dreams start to get more and more and more vivid. He sees Some nights he sees visions of people using weird guns. Other nights he sees creatures exploding in light. And then other nights he starts to see horrible things, people dying. Then, so after these years of their training and stuff, Deku, he's like in the last part, he's going to be taking a while to get back to Japan. And he's more so just coming back to like get things packed up with his mom, because from what the government agency has told him is that they're going on a trip together. Little does Suzuki know the full extent to it. Inko's been kind of informed about this and has been talked to that Deku has been chosen to be one of 4 children to be envoys, along with one of their parents, to go with the Valerians off-world to receive training from an alien species, to see about getting enhancing their quirks or their bodies and minds. So yes, in this, both Izuku, Shoto, Momo, and Toru are going to be... They're not going to be like geniuses, but their average knowledge of technology is going to be greater of that of some of a normal earthling, just simply because they would have learned certain systems on like the mothership, also the colony that the Valerians have recently just finished building on Titan. So that being said, we cut back to the hospital where All Might is, through the behest of like his friends and Endeavor saying that he's got this and just to heal up, you shouldn't overdo things. He's kind of sent back. And then we cut to Endeavor, and he's sitting in his office and he receives a phone call from someone. Inji, I take it he asked you to take one for all. And then Endeavor's like, how do you know that? Bring All Might, just you two. This is to this location. I'll explain it to you in 2 days' time. The next day, All Might is in his hospital bed and he hears a knock. Hey, Toshinori, I have something I need to discuss with you. Can be heard as the door opens. Inji. You reconsidered? No, Master wants to speak to us alone. You know that hero that helped us out against All for One. And so Endeavor explains that the hero that helped them out in the fight, albeit towards the end, wants to meet up with All Might to discuss a few things, and apparently it involves a certain someone as well. So All Might says he'll meet with this person, and he looks at Endeavor and he's like, can we trust him? Because I am in a certain condition. I'm fairly certain I'd be able to take care of myself. And Endeavor is kind of laughing a little bit because he has seen the Master use his strength, and to Endeavor it seems almost comparable to All Might's strength. Little does Endeavor know that Master is far, and I mean far, stronger than All Might. So the next day comes in the afternoon, and the appointed time comes, and All Might and Endeavor are standing around on the rooftop of UA. And Endeavor is looking around, it's like, I can't believe I came back to this place. I hate the school. And All Might, being the cheerful, go-lucky guy he is, kind of pats him on the back and is like, oh, come on, Angie, you knew you liked it when you went to school here. And Endeavor just kind of goes, Tch. Says the number one hero, not for long. And All Might's like, wouldn't have it any other way, buddy. Just kind of throwing salt into the wound, making little jabs here. And then all of a sudden they hear a whoosh. And they can just, All Might and Endeavor can just feel the pressure of the air like something moved. And then Endeavor and All Might see a bright beam. And Master is standing there in this light once it's clear. And this is when, to All Might and Endeavor's surprise, they see Master kind of bowing and say, I'm sorry I'm late. I had a couple of things I needed to take care of. We had a problem with the fuselage, and then the power couplings went out, and then we had to fix this, and that. And All Might's just staring at this man. And he's like, sir, what was it that you wanted to speak with us about? And this is when Master speaks up. And he's like, he turns to Inji. And he's like, Inji, have you told him about... And Endeavor's like, no, he doesn't know about that. And All Might is questions what are you two talking about? So then it's explained about the Valerians and who they are and what they are doing here. Basically, Master explains to All Might that he traveled from a world in the future to several hundred years in the past, and for the past 550 years, he's been living among the Valerians. And he feels like it is time to enact the plan that he went back to do. And they can sort of hear under his breath that at least this world will be saved. Which Endeavor barely hears, and All Might sort of picks up a little bit more and is able to make it out more. And then All Might and Endeavor both kind of say, so why did you need to speak with us exactly? And Endeavor is more like, yo, Master, what did you need to see us to? And this is when Master gets a serious look in his face. And he's like, Inji, you had planned to stay here and let a certain someone go as the pro-hero liaisons. That's correct, right? And Endeavor's like, yes, that's true. Well, I've been talking to Val, and both me and him agreed that it would actually be more beneficial if you came with your son. That way All Might can stay. And this is when Endeavor's, and this is when Master looks over at All Might, and he's like, I'm sorry, I can't take it anymore. We can help you out, All Might. We know you're injured. We can't get you at 100%. And Masters is thinking, it's like, if I didn't do what I did to save the prince, I could do it, but that would direct change in Owen's personal timeline. That's just getting hard to comprehend, and all these like thoughts and stuff start racing through Master's head, and then he looks again at All Might, and he's like, All Might, the Valerians, we can heal you, but you won't be at 100%. You would still have some recovery, but you would have plenty of time to do hero work in between your rest. I believe you would have a time limit of about 4 hours. I believe with our science we can take that up to a good 8 hours a day where you can do hero work, nearly doubling your time. And as long as you take a strict regiment of recovery and not overdo things, you should be fine. In any case, there will be a few people staying behind while the humans come with us. And All Might is taken aback by this. So then Master says, All Might, the boy, give him time. He's not ready to receive one for all. And All Might just glares at Inji, and Endeavor is like, it wasn't me. He knew about it before. And then All Might looks at Master, and he's like, you look familiar, like I've seen you before now that I've looked at it. And now that Endeavor has had more interactions with Deku, he begins to look at Master and he's like, yeah, you look. And then Master stares at Endeavor and he's like, giving him that look, don't say a word, I will tell you later. Look. So now we cut over to Deku. He's in his dreams, like the past month, he's been having some pretty horrific dreams where he's seeing people that he thinks he knows just getting evaporated in giant beams of light, and carnage and buildings completely leveled and destroyed. He wakes up in a cold sweat. And he hears a particular voice. Nightmares again, Deku. And you can just hear Deku says, yeah, Blondie, it's really rough. I don't know what's going on. So, in the preceding months, All Might comes to the a location to a hospital. A government-run hospital that also serves as a base of medical operations for the Valerians to start helping kick off the development of certain medicines, and also testing of certain types of texts like court cancellation cuffs, and also net like bean bags and like bullets and stuff like that can temporarily, like they have a secret underground facility for all of this. So All Might arrives and he's walking through, and he's met by a pretty strange looking man. He has kind of pointed ears and his eyes are glowing yellow, and he looks fairly human, but the eyes and the ears just a little off-putting to All Might. And the man says, "Oh, you must be God, you." And he just kind of overhears the man muffling under his breath. It's like, "Oh, humans all look the same." Yes, Mr. Toshinori. Yagi, you are here for a 2 o'clock appointment for the, oh, the, you agreed for the regeneration therapy. That's amazing. Oh, all right, Mr. Yagi, this way, this way, this way. I don't have much time. I have a dozen other patients to see today. Let's go ahead and get over it. So he's led to a elevator, and they get in. And as the elevator starts going down, it goes down to it's the thing says basement 1, basement 2, basement 3, and then all the lights show up, and a panel comes down, and he sees the man just push the button, and all of a sudden, All Might kind of feels like 0 Gs for a split second, and then is quickly caught by some kind of force. And when the elevator stops and the doors open, Master's standing there, and a bunch of other people that look like the gentleman that escorted him, but they look a lot different. They look alien. And All Might is freaked out about this, and he gets in a stance, and the man that escorted is like, Mr. Yagi, please pardon my disgraces. I meant to introduce myself properly. I am one of the lead medical officers for Prince Fowl, and well, as you can see, I've altered my DNA to be more human-like so I can be more inconspicuous. Kinda helps out with the whole trying to help your species out and bring them to a higher level. So they lead All Might. Master says he grabs All Might and he hugs him. It's like, I didn't think I'd ever really see you again, sir. We have some things to talk. I will explain it as we walk. Master then explains who he is, and All Might's like, whoa, so that boy, he has a quirk. And this is when Master says, it's like, I'm not too sure. I may not even be in my own universe, but if you can give me 5 more years, I'll have him ready to receive your quirk, All Might. And this is when All Might puts his hands on the older gentleman's shoulder, and he feels a spark. And then Master says, oh, and Nana says hello. And this is when All Might's eyes widen. He's like, huh. So I guess you are good. So I guess you did have, at some point, the heart of a hero for me to be able to... So, in the future, a future, I give you, or an alternate universe, I give you my quirk, and you are that boy, but from an alternate reality, and aliens exist, but there's more than one species, and the ones here are benign, and have been, for the past 50 years, working with with an international government agency to, at some point, integrate the human species into an intergalactic community. And Master looks at him and is like, huh, I thought you'd be a little bit more freaked out about this, sir. And this is when All Might looks at him and is like, and drop the sir stuff. As far as I'm concerned, this is a lot to process, though. As far as I'm concerned, young men, or older men, you are more of a sensei to me, so it's me that should be showing you honor. And with that, the other man that had been escorted says, through this door, Mr. Yagi, the regeneration chambers. is in here. So they walk through, and All Might is baffled. He sees things that shouldn't exist. Like the tech that he's seeing just seems so foreign, and then he sees a vet. And this is when Master says, All Might, they're going to take you for a while. I have some things to repair, but give it some thought. Give me 5 years, and he'll be ready for it. So with that, Master leaves All Might after letting him know who he was, kind of explaining his backstory of how he came to Japan and everything. Because Master does look sort of like the Valerians now that All Might has actually seen one. And it leads some credence. The fact that Endeavor has known about this for some years kind of shows that he can trust these people. Considering they quite frankly know about his greatest secret anyway, so yeah, he has no choice but do it. So now we cut back over to Deku and Monoma. And he's like, Monoma's talking, it's like, I can't believe we're going off world. This is crazy. And Deku's like, yeah, it's crazy. And Monoma's says, what, you worried about leaving someone behind? And he's like, Deku's like, no, it's just my friend Katsuki. I can't even tell him this. And this is when Monoma pipes up and he's like, God, you're such an idiot. You think he wouldn't know? You probably would be able to talk to him after they announce it. And this is when they hear a knock and a girl's voice coming out. It's like, boys, are you guys gonna spend all morning in there? You're gonna come. And then they hear like another voice. It's like, yeah, you guys overslept again, didn't you? Or I should say Deku overslept. Deku yells back, all right, Shoto, I'm getting up. Oh. So Deku gets up out of bed, gets dressed, and they go out into the common area. And they're in a government building. And they're having breakfast, and they turn, and news is playing. There's All Might's there, Endeavor is there, and also they say, wait, that's Master. Are they actually going to announce this to the world? And when they have announced that there are 4 children that have been chosen to participate in a program that has been specially developed to develop their quirks with the help of new friends from another world. And at this, reporter's like, what do you mean? What do you mean by friends from another world? Asks a reporter to the government official. With this, he looks at All Might and he's like, I think the number 1 hero should explain this part. Just so people are not alarmed about the news that is being divulged here. You see, for a few years now, we've known about another alien species, and they have come to our world to help us out. And there's a program of envoys in their society where 4 envoys of our society will go and live amongst their people for 5 years, and then some of their people will come and live amongst ours, basically doing a cultural exchange, while also officials from both governments, i.e. the world's government and the Valerian people, are in different parts of the world and are treated our envoys. And this is when All Might thinks. You can think of these children and four adults in as ambassadors to our species, and they will have ambassadors of their own. Now stop here. Now mind you, I said there's a whole facility filled with Valerians. Well, there's at most 18 there at this facility, but it's not like they're running around mingling with humans. There's only like one or two that have regular contact with humans, excluding Master, but he's kind of part of their society in a weird way. That being said, this is when All Might says, and the world's governments have been able to allow another ambassador to go that will be a pro hero that represents us. With this, I was initially approached by this, but I thought maybe it would be better for my good friend Endeavor to do this. He seems more well suited at this kind of thing. And people begin to laugh. And so then he's like, well, quiet down. It's not a laughing matter. And this is when one reports like, how do we know this is all true? At this, a massive ship appears above them. And a hologram appears out front. And it's Prince Val. And this is when Deku, Shoto, and Toru, and Monoma is like, whoa, it's that Prince Val guy. And he says to the people of Earth, it is finally great to finally greet you all. In the open, we've had some things in the bag. Do not take our secrecy as us hiding anything. It's just, in the past, other species we've come in contact haven't been as friendly as yours. So we've had to been wary of your species. Only recently have we noticed some things that could be improved. Do not take me wrong as this being an invasion, people. And with that, a bright light appears and Prince Val's actually standing there. As the first envoy of my people, I am here in Japan, which is base of All Might. I will be, as he looks over at All Might, working with this individual here. You seem suitable to bodyguard without causing alarm. And everyone just sees the prince putting one hand over his chest and reaching one hand towards All Might, basically kneeling his head. And then everyone sees Master kind of doing that to him. And All Might sees this, and he sort of does the same thing to Prince Val. And Prince Val sees this, and he's like, oh, whoa. And he looks at Master, and Master shakes his head. Like, no, I didn't tell him that. So now we cut to a few hours later, and All Might's getting debriefed about what his roles with Prince Val and everything basically are going to be. Pretty much being an escort, kind of showing him around. Also, Val and his traveling physician / assistant that follows him everywhere will be here too to kind of help All Might with his recovery. Because they are able to fully heal him, but they've at least been able to get him to a point to where he can do hero work for about 8 hours a day, and he has to spend about 2 to 3 hours a day in the regeneration chamber to completely heal all the damage. Because they can fix him immediately, but they would fundamentally change All Might. DNA to where he's no longer human. And Master has kind of told them that it probably wouldn't be a good idea. It would probably change things too much. So they're doing a long-term treatment so that it can kind of show that they're there. And we cut to a room overseeing a beautiful scenery. It's of a few, there's Earth and the moon. And there's 4 people just staring in awe at this. And then you hear a man say, children, in a very regal but soft and maternally, or how do you say, calming voice. Children, it's finally nice to finally speak with you. And they turn around and they're like, oh, Master, what's going on? And then they see the eyes glowing green. And Deku's like, wait, you're not Master, are you? Young Midoriya, very perceptive. Well, yes and no. You can call me Echo. I am... How to explain it in your language? I am a symbiote, a hive mind symbiote. Although, right now I am 2 minds inhabiting one. And this is when Master starts speaking. He's like, yeah, sorry about that, children. It really wanted to talk to you for. And Deku, the Deku, Toru, Shoto, and Monomaru are shocked about the realization of what's going to be happening over the next 5 years. They're going to be getting they're going to be training their minds and bodies a great deal more than what they did on Earth. And this is when Deku's like, so where are we going, All Might? I know we probably wouldn't be on this, because would be kind of dangerous if one of these 3's quirks went not haywire. And this is when Master says, well, we've been able to terraform Titan. And they're like, whoa, what? That's also another thing, children. You'll also be learning basic understanding of basic technologies that the Valerians use in day-to-day life and other medical treatments and everything. And then he turns to look Deku directly in the eyes. And this is when something weird happens. One eye is green and the other's normal. And there's this weird mixture of the 2 voices. He leans out and he's like, we're wanting you to join us. You will, and this is when it splits. Eku's like, I'm sorry about that. And I've got to rest. I don't want to harm Master Midoriya. As he whispers it under his breath. So, live. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this part here. I hope you, beautiful souls, enjoyed this one. Part 1B will be coming out sometime this week. I have to finish a couple of things with the script, but I hope you enjoyed this one. I know... Sorry about that. I know this one's kind of dry, doesn't really have that much of a meat, but I feel there needed to be an explanation, some character building with All Might and Endeavor a little bit, In 1B, we'll be going over their 5 years of training. And hopefully, part 2 will cover the beginning of the anime. So that being said, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I will see you beautiful souls in the next video.